Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa ba'd. So, inshallah ta'ala, initially it was advertised that I would speak regarding the rights of the spouses, which we're still going to do that, but a more precise title of my talk would be shared rights between the spouses. Because in gathering information for this topic, we see a lot of the just general rights of the husband, general rights of the wife. You know, they've been spoken about by some of our brothers in detail. They've given lectures and series of lectures on this topic. So we could, speak regarding the right of the husband to the obedience of his wife, the intimacy, the keeping of secrets, and so on and so forth. We could speak regarding the rights of the wife, like nafaqah, spending, and so on and so forth, what is connected to that. But we wanted to take a bit of a different approach to keep it more general and speak about the shared rights that there are between the spouses. And what we intend by way of the shared rights is that there are certain things that are specific to the man, right? The man has rights that are specific to him, just as the woman has rights that are specific to her. Like we mentioned lightly, the affair of obedience. That is a right that is specific to the man. The man is not incumbent upon him to obey his wife. The wife is incumbent upon her to obey her husband in that which is ma'ruf, in that which is good, and that which does not entail disobedience of Allah. It's not the husband's right for his wife to spend upon him. It's not his right. Rather, it is the right that is specific to the wife. But when we say shared rights, it is rights that both of them have upon each other. It's a right that both spouses have upon each other. Whether you're a male, whether you're a female in their relationship, in the marriage, both of you have certain affairs and rights that are due to you. And it's what we intend by the shared rights. It's not specific to him, nor is it specific to her. So the basic foundation in relation to shared rights, it is that which the legislation of Al-Islam affirms for each of the two spouses, and what is connected to that from that which is mentioned inside of various customs and ways and habits of the people, meaning that from the mahasin and the good characteristics of our religion is that those things that are from custom, those things that are from a person's custom, and they are considered to be good and wholesome and pure within that custom, then you'll find that Islam, it actually allows these affairs and calls to it. If it's considered to be good in every single walk of life, every single culture, and is considered to be decent, then Islam likewise considers those things in most cases to be decent. And those things that are considered to be reprehensible and ugly and offensive to anybody, Muslim or non-Muslim, those things are likewise considered to be offensive and reprehensible in our religion. Aslan, in most cases, okay? And so those things, they vary from time to time, from place to place. But generally speaking, they also in this issue of shared rights is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that which He said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنْ دَرَجَةٌ. That women, they have rights that are due to them. They have rights that are due to them bil-ma'ruf, yani within reason. They have rights that are due to them that are similar to those that are due upon them bil-ma'ruf, within reason. However, the men, they have a daraja, they have a grade or a level above the women, meaning in terms of rights. And this is for a reason which we shall get to, inshallah ta'ala. But we know what our rights are, and we know what our rights are not. Then this will allow us to be thankful to our spouses when they are giving us what our rights are, and we will overlook when they may not do something which we didn't have a right to anyway. And so Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he mentioned, وَمَا أُحِبْ. He said, I don't like to request from or press my wife regarding everything that I have a right to. I don't like to press her or make incumbent upon her everything that I have a right to. And thus, as a result of that, she will press me about everything that she has a right to. For Allah Ta'ala said inside of his book, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, that they have rights, meaning women have rights that are similar to those that are due upon them within reason, and the men have a daraja over them. Imam Tabari alayhi rahmatullah, from the scholars of tafsir, he said regarding this verse that the mufassirun, the scholars of tafsir, differ regarding what is the meaning of this verse. And some of the scholars have mentioned that the meaning of it is وَلَهُنَّ مِنْ حُسْنُ الصُّحْبَةِ, that the women have a right to husn al-suhbah, that you associate with them, that you're a good companion with them. You're a good man to them. You're a good man to them. Naam, and likewise, she's a good woman to you. She's a good woman to you. Naam, wal-ushra bil-ma'ruf, and that you associate with them, the manners in which you associate with them, how you deal with them, and vice versa. It is hasan, it is good. Naam, he says, Allah, now they have this right upon their husbands, just as their husbands have that right upon them. Now, concerning this daraja, this level or degree that the men have above them, At-Tabari likewise said that the scholars of tafsir differ about that. What is the level? So if the rights, they have rights and we have rights, but there is a level that men have above them. What is that daraja? What is that level? What brings that level about? Some of the scholars of tafsir said the ma'na, the meaning of that daraja, is that Allah is what Allah Ta'ala, He has made for men over the women in terms of that fadl. Allah has given them a fadl and a bounty. He has given them a virtue over the women. Men have a virtue over the women. And it is in that which comes about by way of nafaqah. You spend upon your wife, you take care of her. So one who does good to you has a fadl over you. They have a virtue over you. That virtue of that goodness which they've done to you. Now, and likewise that they have a daraja above them in terms of mirath, in terms of inheritance. When it comes to the inheritance that is divided after a person passes away, then the men, they get a double portion of that which is given to the women. And this is not due to some belittlement of the women or some usurping of the wealth on behalf of the men, but no, the men are responsible for spending upon the women. And they're not responsible for spending upon their men. They're not responsible for spending upon their men. If they get something, what they have is theirs. What they have is theirs. But what we have is incumbent upon us to spend it upon our women and upon our children. So therefore, this is why the men, they get a double portion. Now, and likewise, the affairs of jihad, this is specific to the men. When it comes to doing battle in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, this is not something which the women enlist for. The women who participated in jihad in the time of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salam were few, as Sheikh Salih Fawzan mentioned. You can count them on one hand. There was Nusayba and a few others. Now, however, this is something which is specific to the men. The men, they go out there and put their lives on the line. The men, they go out there and they seek to further the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal by way of this affair and whatever resembles that. Amongst the shared rights, and we're going to mention some points, and these points are intended to make it easy for you to take notes if you're taking notes. Point number one, amongst the shared rights that are shared between men and women, meaning a man has this right upon his wife, and she likewise has the same right upon him, is that of at-tawasi bil-haq wa ta'awun ala ta'atillah, that of mutual cooperation upon the truth, advice towards the truth, and ta'awun, and cooperation upon the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal, and to be reminded with the taqwa of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So the husband, he admonishes and advises his wife. She likewise advises him. He has the right to her advice and her direction when she is suitable to give direction and advice. So what is incumbent and obligatory upon each of the two spouses is that they advise one another with the truth, by way of which they are able to establish the affairs of their religion. and by way of which they're able to establish Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal, the Masail al-Tawheed, affairs connected to Tawheed, and that they cooperate with each other upon the obedience of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The wife, she perhaps wakes him up for Fajr in the morning so he can get to the masjid. She encourages him when he gets lazy and want to pray in the house. No, you need to go pray with the men. Don't pray in here with us. Go pray with the men. So she encourages him with that which will help him to draw near to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, seeking knowledge. She encourages him upon that and making it easy for him. And so on and so forth. And so they cooperate with each other. He likewise encourages her. He wakes her up for the night prayer. He allows her to fast those optional fasts outside of the month of Ramadan when she seeks permission. He allows her, he facilitates for her the seeking of ilm, maybe bringing her to the classes, maybe traveling up with her to conferences, maybe buying her books, and the likes of this. All of that is to establish this issue of cooperation with each other upon the obedience of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And likewise, avoidance of that which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has made haram. That they are diligent upon keeping each other away from the haram. And reminding each other to have taqwa of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And reminding each other to be patient in establishing the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, acting in accordance with the statement of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and cooperate or advise mutually one another with the truth, and they advise mutually one another with patience. It has come from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Rahimallah rajulan qama min al-layli fasalla wa ayqadha imra'atahu. May Allah have mercy upon the man who stands up to pray at night and he wakes his wife up. فَإِنْ أَبَتْ نَضَحَا فِي وَجْهِهَا الْمَاءِ. If she refuses to get up, he sprinkles water upon her face. If she refuses to get up to pray the night prayer, he sprinkles water upon her face. وَرَحِمَ اللَّهِ مُرَأَةً. And likewise, may Allah have mercy upon the woman who stands to pray at night and she wakes up her husband. وَإِنْ أَبَى. And if he refuses, then she sprinkles water upon his face in order to get him up. Now, likewise, from that is that the husband, if he finds from his wife nushuz, if he finds that his wife becomes blatantly disobedient. Now, we want to draw attention to something here. Sheikh bin Baz, he mentioned that many of the men, they cry and they yell nushuz when their wife, she has an attitude or she displays some character that is unbefitting, or she may be disobedient in some regard. The men, they cry and they yell nushuz because there are rulings that come along with nushuz. When a woman becomes nashiz, right? Notice we say nashiz because there's no such thing as nashiza. There's no feminine form of the word, and it's for a reason. That a man can't be nashiz or disobedient to his wife. Can't be. He don't have to obey her. But she must obey him. So when she doesn't, she's nashiz. Right? Just like a man can't be hamil. He can't be pregnant. So there's no other form of the word hamil. It's just one word, pregnant. No hamila. She's just hamil. Right? So when the woman becomes nushuz, there are rulings connected to that. Like, for example, the obligation of spending is removed. If the woman becomes blatantly disobedient to her husband, she removes the right that he has to obedience, then he's no longer obliged to spend upon her until she returns back to the obedience of her husband in that which is good. Tayyib. So some men, they cry, she's nashiz, she's disobeying me, she's disobedient. But they neglect to mention what they did to make them like that. What they did to make them that way. It's not just she just flipped out for no reason. Perhaps he became abusive, verbally or mentally. Or perhaps he became physically abusive. Or perhaps he did something something which is impermissible to make her that way. Not that he did something permissible, because someone become that way when he does something permissible. Maybe he marries upon her and now she's zapping out. It's permissible to do. But yani, she did, maybe he just angered her for some reason, something lawful, or something impermissible rather, and then she becomes nauseous like this, and then now the man cries, "Oh, okay, this is new shoes. I don't got to spend up on her. I don't got to give her rights because she's denying me my rights." Nah, but if a man fears new shoes, right? She becomes disobedient, then he admonishes her, he advises her. He commands her to have taqwa of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And he reminds her with that which Allah ta'ala has made obligatory upon her from Jamil al-Ushra, from having a good good manners with her husband and being with her husband in a good way. And to acknowledge, he advises her to acknowledge the daraja, that virtue that he has over her. If he's a good man, aslan, he's been good to her. He provides for her. He's doing everything he's supposed to do as a husband. Generally speaking, he's a good man. And she does become nauseous for no good reason. In this case, these are the steps that he takes. He admonishes her. He advises her. And it's for her benefit. It's for her benefit. Because if she comes back to the obedience of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, it'll benefit her in the long run. It's better for her. So you should fear Allah, my beloved wife. You fear Allah Azza wa Jal. You advise her to the end of it. Reminding her of the daraja that he has above her. And the likes of that from those advices that are wa'adiyah, that are that are admonitions that will affect the heart of the woman. Due to the statement of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala that وَلَلَّتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنْ فَعِذُوهُنَّ, those who you fear nushuz from them, they admonish them, وَحْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ, and then you may separate from them within the bed. Boycott them or separate from them, meaning within the bed. You don't take the business outside of the house. If you're going to seek, for example, advice from talib ilm or a student of knowledge or the imam or what have you, this is one thing. But just venting about your spouse, we don't advise with ever doing this. Just venting about your spouse to someone who is just going to, yeah, bro, I see what you mean, and not give you no good advice. And likewise, the sisters do it as well. Oh, yeah, girl, I wouldn't go for that kind of sister. We don't advise with venting about your private affairs to anyone. If you're going to someone to seek advice, to seek the Islamic ruling regarding an affair, or to seek remedy, this is one thing. Speak to the one who can bring that about for you. But just venting about your spouse, don't ever do this. Don't ever do this. Give them an opportunity, because sometimes every day is not the same. Tempers, they flare. We say things we don't mean. But a day later, we're back in love again, and we're okay. So don't just go venting about your spouse, because you vent about your spouse today, right? You go and you pick up the phone and you call anybody who will listen to you, and you just venting, knowing full well that tomorrow you're going to love her again, or you're going to love him again, and now you're back together. Everything is okay and fine, but people are looking at your spouse crazy. People are looking at your husband like he's just a slime ball. People are looking at your wife like she's just nothing. Because you vented regarding your spouse. And similarly, the woman as well, your husband has the right to your advice. He has the right to your advice. Maybe he's not doing something in a way that's appropriate. You advise him with good manners, with the best speech, of course, like you should advise someone who's in a position of authority over you. And so, advise him to return away from that which he is upon of evil manners, foul speech, and the squandering of rights and the likes of this. And you warn him against an evil outcome for the one who traverses upon this particular pathway. As the women amongst the Salaf, they would say to their husbands as they were leaving out of their home. They would say to their husbands as they were leaving out of their home to go throughout their day, they would say, Taqallah fina. They would say, have taqwa of Allah as it relates to us. وَلَا تَأْتِنَا بِرِزْقٍ مِّنْ حَرَامٍ, and don't bring us any haram money back to this house. Have taqwa of Allah as it relates to us, and don't bring us any haram money back to this house. فَإِنَّا نَصْبِرْ عَلَىٰ الْجُوعِ, for we can be patient upon hunger, but we can't be patient upon the hellfire. So your husband has a right to your advice and your admonition, when the admonition is in the right place. Likewise, from the shared rights between the spouses, the husband has this right upon his wife, and the wife has the right upon her husband, and that is taking the means, utilizing the means that will bring about love and mercy within the marital life. That the husband, he enacts with those means that will make him endeared to his wife, and she likewise does the things that will make her dear to her husband. And so you speak to your spouse in the best possible way. You avoid those things that annoy them, and you treat them well to the absolute best of your ability. Allah Ta'ala mentioned inside of his noble book, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, from the signs of Allah is that He has created for you from amongst yourselves azwaj, or wives, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, in order that you can find comfort with her. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and He has placed between you mawadda, love, and mercy. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, indeed, and that are signs for those people who ponder and reflect. Imam As-Sa'di alayhi rahmatullah said about this verse, and the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and from His signs, meaning الدالة على رحمته وعنايته بعباده, meaning from His signs that point to and indicate the mercy of Allah and His care for His servants, وحكمته العظيمة, and His great wisdom, وعلمه المحيط, and His knowledge that is all-encompassing, meaning from His signs that are like this is the fact that أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا, He has created for you from amongst yourselves spouses. The meaning of our spouses being from ourselves is tunasibukum wa tunasibuhun, that they are appropriate for you and you are likewise appropriate for them. Yani you are a male and she is a female. You are appropriate for each other. You are a human and she's a human. Not that you are a male and a male, or a female and a female, or a man and a jinn. Rather, you are appropriate for them and they are appropriate for you. Now, he says, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, in order that you can find comfort in her. You can find comfort in your spouse. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and He has placed between the two of you mercy and love. And this is, as Sa'di says, due to that which is brought about from marriage, from the reasons and means that bring that about. Now, the wife looking after the needs of her husband, and vice versa. Him looking after her needs. And the affection and the love and the mercy and all of these things, and included in that is the bringing about of children. And the bringing about of children. The ups and the downs and the good times and the bad times, all of those things help to strengthen the bond between the spouses. We go through things and we get through it, it strengthens our bond. Again, as we said earlier, every day is not the same. Every day is not the same. Now, and so when you go through these challenges and you pull through and you get to the other side and you get some years under your belt with each other, and you look back and you realize those things have to strengthen your bond. They help to strengthen your bond. So as Sa'di says, فَحَصَلَ بِالزَّوْجَةِ الْإِسْتِمْتَاعِ, so there occurs by way of the wife al-istimta', meaning you enjoy her, you take pleasure within her. It's not just intimacy, that's one of the aspects of it. But likewise, hearing her voice, seeing her smile, her laughter, those things, they warm the heart and they soften the heart. Now, and you get delight from her, and you get benefits by way of the bringing about of children and the cultivation of those children and raising of them. وَسُكُونِ إِلَيْهَا, and taking comfort with her. فَلَا تَجِدْ أَحَدْ فِي الْغَالِبِ, so in most cases you'll find, or you would not find rather, a relationship similar to that which is between the husband and his wife. You won't find nothing like that. Any friendships, the brotherhood, the brother and a brother, the sister and a sister, any parent and child, All of these are strong relationships, but you will not find like what is between a husband and a wife. You won't find it. He says that, and his statement, "Inna fi dhalika la-ayat," indeed, and that are signs for people who reflect, meaning people who utilize their minds and they ponder and over the ayat of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they make connection between two issues. You're gonna find a sign in that. From the things that bring about love and mercy in a relationship or in a marriage is each of the two spouses beautifying themselves for each other. That the wife, she beautifies herself for her husband, and the husband likewise beautifies himself for his wife. Each doing that which is indicative of their role and their position. So she beautifies herself with that which is particular to her. From perhaps she puts upon herself makeup inside the home. Maybe she wears perfume. She puts upon herself a nice garments and the likes of this inside the home. She lets her husband see her in a good state, and in a beautiful, in a beautiful manner. And likewise, the husband, he beautifies himself with that which is indicative of his manhood. And so perhaps he wears nice scents and colognes and Tawheed, right? As they call Tawheed. Tawheed is called Tawheed for a reason, right? It's Tawheed because it's Tayyib, because it smells good, right? Some of the people they put on stuff, it shouldn't be called Tawheed, right? And they want to offer this stuff to you to master. Like, you want some of this? Nah, bro. You hold on to that one. Don't worry about it. Nah, it's called Tawheed because it should smell good. It should smell good. So you put up on yourself Tawheed, right? If you're an older brother, man, you have gray in your beard, use henna. Use henna inside your beard. You wear a ring. You try to work to actualize dexterity and try to stay in some kind of shape for your wife. All of that is from beautifying yourself for your wife. Now I'm cutting your hair, get a nice haircut, and try buying some clothes just for the house, bro. Try buying some things that you just gonna wear inside the house for your wife. You're not gonna wear, don't worry about your thobes. You get your thobes and all that kind of stuff outside. Well, what you gonna wear inside for your wife? You're gonna wear that same T-shirt with the underarm rings in it. Starting to turn yellow under the arms, and you got those same underwear from high school. Buy some stuff you're just gonna wear inside the house for your wife. Beautify yourself for the sister, inshallah ta'ala. She wanna see something nice, just like we wanna see something nice, right? Ibn Abbas, we know his statement. I love to beautify myself for my wife, just as I love that she should beautify herself for me. From that as well, which will bring about love in the marriage, is al-afu and al-akhta, is overlooking mistakes. Overlooking mistakes. Don't be such that every other day it's a we gotta talk moment. Every other day we gotta talk. Every time, overlook certain things. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. I tell this story as I tell it a lot, and I tell it a lot in counseling sessions and the likes of this. But I have a Kafir uncle. May Allah guide him. And my auntie, or is my aunt through marriage, his wife, they've been married to date about 40 years. And I sat down with them one day and I asked her rather, what is the key? What's the key to stay married this long? What's the secret? She said, I'll tell you. She said, after 30 years of marriage, at this time it was 30 years when I asked this question. After 30 years of marriage, your uncle still comes home, takes his jacket off and drop it right in the middle of the floor. Every day he does this. And she said, you know what I do? I pick it up. Just pick it up. You don't even hear about it. Pick your battles, sister. Pick your battles, brother. Everything don't got to be an issue. Everything don't have to be an issue. We don't always have to talk about something. All right? When you space it out, the issues that are raised, the issues that you do have, you space them out a little bit, overlook a lot of it. One thing that this will do, it will endear you to your spouse. Because if a person is a decent person, they have any type of scruples, they know that they mess up sometimes. And she don't never say nothing to me about my mess up. So when she does say something, I take it serious. I look into it. As opposed to believing that she's just being petty again. She's just arguing with me again. She's just raising the issue again. And vice versa. If you're the type of brother who you are a precise reckoner when it comes to other people's errors, but you're not like this with yourself. You're not like this with yourself. You're like this with other people. There's always an issue that you have with what she's doing, the way that she does something, how she may discipline your child that's not hers, and the likes of this. You always got an issue with something that she's doing. This will in turn make her heart turn away from you, just as it would if the shoe was on the other foot. Nah, and it is not from good policy. So learn to overlook mistakes. Learn to overlook mistakes. Ibn Abbas, he mentioned that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ala ukhbirukum bi nisaikum min ahl al-jannah." Shall I not inform you of your women who are the people of Jannah? Of your women who are the people of Jannah. They are al-wadud al-walud. Shaykh Uthaymeen, he points out a tremendous benefit from this narration. When and the other variation of it, when the Prophet said, "Tazawwaju al-wadud al-walud," marry the women who are wadud and they are walud, right? They are loving and affectionate, and they are childbearing. The meaning of loving and affectionate, she's, like we say in Baltimore, touchy-feely with her husband. She's always interacting with him, always on him and rubbing on him and touching him and sitting on him, and she's like this with her husband. Marry a woman that's like that, very affectionate, because that will bring about the next portion of the hadith. She will be walud, she will be childbearing, because that frequent interaction with her husband like this, it brings about what brings about children. It brings about the action that brings about children. So marry the woman who is like this. This is the woman that he advised to marry. He said, "Shall I not inform you, not just that you should marry her, but she's from the people of Jannah. She's wadu, she's affectionate towards her husband. And she's walu, she's childbearing. A'ud ala zawjiha, she frequently comes back to her husband. Ilat-Tawheed, the woman who, if she is harmed, or she does harm, she don't look at the fact of who caused it, whose fault it was. Oh, it's him. I wouldn't have did that if he didn't do such and such. Rather, if she is harmed, or if she harms, she comes to her husband, and she places her hand in the hand of her husband, and she says to him, "Wallahi, by Allah, I'm not going to taste sleep until you are pleased with me. I'm not going to taste sleep until you are pleased with me." Women for Ahl Jannah. Is it easy to do? No. Because Jannah is surrounded by what? Difficult things. Paradise is surrounded by makarih. So you have to cultivate yourself and train yourself to overlook. Train yourself to be one who just doesn't want conflict inside the marriage. You want to be on a good page with your spouse inside the marriage. And the women, they are the counterparts of men. So if the women are commanded to be like this, then the men are as well. The men are as well. Abu Darda, radiallahu anhu, he said to his wife when he had just married her, he says, "Idha ra'aytini qadibtu," if you see that I become angry, then please me. If you see that I become angry, then make me happy. Strive to make me happy. Don't get an attitude because I got an attitude. Make me happy. And if I see that you are angry, I'm going to strive to make you happy. He says, "Wa'illa," if we are not like this with each other, we're not going to stay together. We're not going to stay together. From that which will bring about love and mercy in the marriage as well, i'faf az-zawjayn ba'duhuma li ba'd, is each of the two spouses striving to keep the other one chaste. This goes back to something that we mentioned some time ago. And when you, from the very beginning, when you're actually pursuing marriage, you should maximize your intention when you're pursuing marriage. If you maximize your intention, you will maximize your reward, you maximize the benefit. So when you get married, don't just say, for example, "I want to safeguard myself." It's a noble thing. Yes, you want to safeguard yourself. But maximize the intention. Don't shortchange yourself. Say, "Yes, I want to safeguard myself. I want to increase the ummah of Muhammad, alayhi salam, by way of children. And likewise, I want to safeguard my sister. I want to safeguard my brother from the haram. I want to safeguard this man. I want to safeguard that woman from the haram." Nah? And so this goes back to the affair of keeping one another chaste. You keep your husband chaste. You keep your wife chaste. How do you do that? By fulfilling their conjugal rights. From fulfilling that which they need conjugally. So, and this, because most time when we speak about the rights to intimacy, you think about it from the aspect of the man, right? That he has the right to intimacy, but she has the right to intimacy as well. It's her right as well. The ulama, they mentioned that for the man to be intimate with his wife is wajib. It's wajib, based upon the strongest of the two statements of the ulama. If there is nothing that prevents him from doing so, if there's nothing that prevents him from doing so, and this is the madhab of Imam Malik, Abu Hanifa, and Ahmed, it is the chosen viewpoint of Ibn Taymiyyah alayhi rahmatullah. And they have defined the amount of obligation as it is as much as will suffice her. As much as will suffice her and fulfill her needs and keep her chaste without destroying the body of the man and without distracting him from seeking livelihood. I mean, within reason. Within reason. Imam al-Bukhari, he reports from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, radiyallahu anhuma, that he said, قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا عبد الله. He said, oh Abdullah, ألم أخبر أنك تصوم النهار وتصوم الليل وتقوم الليل. He said, have I not been informed, or did I hear about you, that you fast every single day and you pray all throughout the night? قلت بلى يا رسول الله. I said, yes, O Messenger of Allah. I fast every day and I pray all throughout the night. The Prophet said, لا تفعل. He said, don't do this. Don't be this way. Don't do this. He says, sum waftir. He said, rather fast sometimes and sometimes don't fast. Waqum wanim. He said, pray at night sometimes and likewise sleep. He says, فَإِنَّ لِجَسَدِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا, because your body has a right over you. وَإِنَّ لِعَيْنِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا, your eyes have a right over you. وَإِنَّ لِزَوْجِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا, and your wife likewise has a right. She has a right over you. Likewise, from the rights that are shared between the spouses, it's the next right. It is that of badl al-thiqa wal-ihsan al-dhann, is trusting your spouse and having a good thought. Trusting your spouse and having a good thought. The wife has a right to this, and the husband likewise has a right to his wife's good thoughts. So don't second guess your husband's leadership, or don't question every decision that he makes, and thus you are likely to break his confidence and make him not want to try, make him not want to put forth effort. Rather, trust his statements, trust his judgment, and likewise, brothers, trust your wife. Trust her statements and trust her judgments when it comes down to making decisions when you're not there. She's an amira. She's the queen inside the house. She's the queen inside the house. Now, so therefore, trust your wife. Trust her chastity, that she's not out there doing anything improper when you're traveling or when you're away and when you're not around her. Trust her. It is obligatory upon each other two spouses that they deal with that spouse in a way that is ba'id, that is far away from doubts and from suspicion and having a bad thought about the other. Allah Ta'ala mentioned inside of his noble book, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ijtanibu kathiran min adh-dhann. O you who believe, avoid much dhann, much suspicion. Inna ba'da dhann itham. Indeed, some suspicion is sinful. The suspicion that is sinful is the suspicion that has no qara'in. There's nothing that will substantiate it. You're just suspicious for no reason. You got some trauma from your past situation or something like that, and now you want to impart this upon your current spouse. Don't be suspicious of your spouse. Have a good thought. Have a good thought, especially if it's the case that they're not giving you anything to have a bad thought about. Don't just have bad thoughts. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا, and don't spy. Don't spy. Don't go looking at your spouse's phone, looking at devices, right? Looking and searching for something. Some of the spouses, they have sick hearts, and they doubt everything that comes from that spouse. Whereas it has come from Jabir that he said, Naha Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet prohibited, the Messenger of Allah prohibited, and yatruq al-rajul ahlahu laylan, that a person, he comes to his wife at nighttime. What he intends by way of this is that when a person is traveling, right? When a person is traveling, if you've been away from your spouse for some time, then the sunnah is that you don't return at nighttime. You don't return at nighttime. Strive to return during the daytime. When everybody's awake, they're out and about, they're up, right? This has a number of benefits in it. One of the benefits is that she can prepare herself for you. She's up, she's alert, she can prepare herself for you. Now she can get ready. But a lot of people, they would do this during that time from the bab of suspicion. They want to catch her. I want to catch her doing something improper. You want to catch her out there. He says that, but rather don't come to them at nighttime, sneakily, and don't yatlub ataratihim, and don't spy, so to speak. Don't be looking for their defects and looking for wrongdoing and searching for it from your spouse. Some of the Salaf, they said, La tukthir al-ghayra ala ahlik. Don't have excessive ghayra. Ghayra is you have this permissible and dignified, honorable type of jealousy that a man's supposed to have for his wife. You're supposed to have a certain type of jealousy. It's that chivalry, so to speak. You're out walking somewhere with her, somebody walk a little too close to her. You slide up, step in between them. Back up a little bit, champ. A little too close. That chivalry that a man is supposed to have for his wife, right? The dignified jealousy. Then there's that overboard, crazy, whacked out kind of jealousy, right? That some people have for their spouse. And this jealousy, what it does, it makes them suspicious of every movement, everything their spouse does. They're suspicious. They suspect about everything that they're doing. The Salaf said, don't be like this. Don't be excessive in your jealousy. Don't be excessive in your jealousy. For turma bisu min ajlik. So as a result of your jealousy, as a result of how you are excessive in your jealousy, now people start thinking ill about your wife. Now other people start thinking ill about your spouse because of how you are about them. And again, the women are the counterparts of men, right? Some women, they're like this as well. Some women are such that if the husband walks in the house smiling one day, he's happy, just in a good mood with the brothers or something like that, brother made him laugh and he brings that smile inside the house. Oh, here she comes. What you so happy about? Why are you smiling so much? Who you texting? Who you talking to? Brother may be on his phone looking at a funny something, his brother sent him or something like that. He's smacking the phone all the time. She wants to see what he's looking at. Right? Some women, they're excessive in their jealousy as well. But a balanced, good type of jealousy that's honorable, that's dignified, that is such that if you don't have it, then you're blameworthy. That's something different. Now, and your spouse has a right to this as well, right? Your wife has a right for you to be jealous over her, and the husband has a right for you to be jealous over him, sister. He has a right to your jealousy. You should be jealous for your husband. From the shared rights that are between the spouses, that he has a right to, that she has a right to, التحلي بخلق الصبر والاحتمال الأذى, is that a person adorns themselves, that he and she adorn themselves with the characteristic of patience and the bearing of harm. You accustom yourself and you adorn yourself with the characteristic of patience and the bearing of harm. We're human beings, and as we said, every day is not the same. Some days it's just, you're going through it, you're having a bad day, and you may speak in a way that you shouldn't speak to your spouse. They ain't do it. They didn't do it. He didn't do it, right? And so when this happens, what should be the response? What should be the response? If your spouse speaks to you in a way that is inappropriate, maybe her temper got the best of her. Maybe his temper got the best of him. Maybe he said something he shouldn't have said, right? How should the response be? That you must adorn yourself, brother. You must adorn yourself, sister, with the characteristic of patience and the ability to bear harm. Think about what the origin of this man is, what the origin of the woman is. If the origin of them is that they are a good person, they don't talk to me like this every day, so I know something must be wrong. I know something must be wrong. Right? Have that insight and that foresight to say, I know how they are normally. This is not how they are normally. Let me be patient. Maybe they'll tell me about it later. Right? Okay, so you're adorning yourself with this characteristic. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he said that the Messenger of Allah alayhi he said, Man yasta'fif, that whoever seeks chastity, whoever strives to be chaste, Allah shall make him chaste. وَمَنْ يَسْتَغْنِ يُغْنِهِ اللَّهِ, and whoever seeks to be self-sufficient, he seeks an income, he seeks lawful earnings, he actively pursues that, Allah will enrich him. Allah will enrich him. وَمَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ صَبَّرَهُ اللَّهِ, and whoever strives to actualize patience. You got to work for it. You got to work for it. But if you work to actualize patience, Allah will make him patient. Allah will make that person patient. They're actively trying. They're seriously and genuinely trying to be patient. Allah will make them patient. وَمَا أُعْتِيَ أَحَدٌ عَطَاءً خَيْرًا وَأَوْسَعَ مِنَ الصَّبْرِ, and no one can be given a gift better and more abundant than patience. Now, likewise, and lastly, the last shared right between the spouses is the affair of the mas'uliyya al-mushtarika fi bina usra mutakamila, is the shared responsibility which both of them have, the husband and the wife, to formulate and to build a healthy and thriving family. The man, he works from his vantage point, he does what's incumbent upon him. She works from her vantage point, doing what's incumbent upon her, to build a wholesome and a good and a strong family. Now, Islam makes binding and obligatory upon both spouses to establish the building of a family from every angle and every perspective. Now, and that they establish the cultivation of children and the care for that which is within their hands, each from their own perspective. Doing so from in terms of health, you look out for the health of one another and for your children. You look out for the religion of one another and for your children. You look out for the character of one another and your children and the manners. And Islam, it makes the responsibility in this issue to be upon both spouses, not just one. It's not just upon one or the other, such that you have to do right, but I can do whatever I want. No, it's upon both. The responsibility is upon both spouses in the marriage. Ibn Hibban and others reported from Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Inna Allaha sa'ilun kulla ra'in amma star'ah, that Allah will question and ask each shepherd about that which they had under their care. Now, he's going to ask them, did they look after that affair or did they squander and lose it? Hatta yas'al ar-rajul an ahli baytihi, to the point that a man or that Allah Ta'ala will ask the man about those who were inside of his household. And we heard the narration mentioned by Sheikh Magdi earlier regarding the shepherd and the rajul, that the rajul is a ra'i ala ahli baytihi, the man is a shepherd over his household. Who mas'ul an ra'iyatihi, shall be asked about his flock, and the woman is a shepherdess over the household and children of her husband. She shall be questioned. Now, so we're going to be questioned about that which is within our care. Imam al-Baghawi, he mentioned, rahimahullah, that the shepherdhood, if that's the word, of the man over his family is by way of establishing the truth with them and establishing their rights in terms of nafaqah, spending upon them as they should be spent upon. Well, husn al-ishra, likewise, being a good companion to your wife, being a good man. Just be a good man. Just be a good person. And the ri'ayah of the woman inside the home of her husband is by way of good management over the affairs of his household. She managed his home well. She now with whatever is indicative of home management. Now, because every culture, this may differ, right? But generally speaking, the house should be clean, and a clean home is indicative of the woman of the house. It's indicative of the woman of that house. So the home is clean. Now, the children are cared for. The food is prepared. Likewise, she looks after if he has, because he mentions servants here. We don't have servants too much anymore in these days and times. But if he hosts guests, if the man wants to have the brothers over the house for an iftar or for dinner, right? And the wife, she whips it up, she puts it together. This will make her husband look better. It's going to go back to her husband. The brother's going to leave with a good impression about her husband. So it's a look out for him when she takes care of his friends, she takes care of his guests, and whenever they come to visit him inside of his home, or he invites them for dinner and the likes of that. Likewise, from what is connected to that, of looking after, or that shared responsibility which they have over the family, is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara, wa quduha an-nas wal hijara, alayha malaikatun ghiladun shidad, la ya'suna Allah ma amarahum, wa yaf'aluna ma yu'marun. Allah Ta'ala says, oh, you who believe, men and women, if you're a believer, the verse is speaking to you. Oh, you who believe, save yourselves. Qu anfusakum, protect yourself and save yourselves. Wa ahlikum, and your families from a fire. From a fire. The fuel of that fire, waquduha an-nas wal hijara. The fuel of it is people. The fuel of that fire is people and stones. Upon that fire are angels stern and severe, who don't disobey Allah and what He has commanded them, but rather they do what they've been commanded. Ali ibn Abi Talib said about this verse in the statement of Allah, protect yourself and your family from the fire as fuel as men and stones. He said, alimuhum wadibuhum, meaning you teach them, you educate them. Educate them, and the best education is that of the Islamic education. Educate them in terms of their deen, but likewise in terms of their dunya. And we have to live in this dunya, right? So you'll ensure that your family has a quality education, inshallah ta'ala. But especially in the affairs of deen, teaching them sound aqeedah, teaching them that which will increase their iman and will benefit them in this life as well as the akhirah. Wadibuhum, and you discipline them. Make sure that their manners are corrected. You correct their manners. You don't want your children to grow up to be liars. You don't want your children to grow up to be people who are not well mannered. They're disrespectful. Now, adibuhum, discipline them. Discipline them. It starts at home. You can always tell a child who their parents discipline them in the home versus a child who his parents don't. You can always tell. You can always tell. Ibn Abbas said about the verse, meaning, i'malu bi ta'atillah, you yourself first and foremost. Sheikh Majdi mentioned this earlier as well. One of the best things that you can do for your children is you yourself be righteous. You yourself be upright, because you are their first teacher. You are their first teacher. You yourself act in obedience of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let them see this from you. That their father, he prays in Amashi. Their father, he's truthful, he's upright. Now, their father, he's a man about his business. He's a man of principle. And let the women, the girls see this from their mother as well. That my mother, she's truthful. She takes care of my dad. She takes care of us. That now she's well dressed. When she goes out of her home, she's covered properly. She looks nice. Now, so you yourself act upon righteousness first and foremost. Now, and you have taqwa of Allah and avoid disobeying Allah. وَمُرُوا أَهْلِيكُمْ بِذِكْرٍ, and likewise command your family with the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. And as a result of that, Ibn Abbas says, Allah shall save you from the fire. May Allah Ta'ala save us from the fire. May Allah save our families from the fire. May Allah Ta'ala make us from those who actualize these affairs. This is that which we gathered and wanted to mention. Of course, more can be mentioned when we speak about the rights of spouses. As we said, there are rights that are specific to the men, rights that are specific to the women, but these are some of the shared rights that both of them have over one another. Allah Ta'ala knows best. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. The next talk with Sheikh Kashif, it will be bi'ithnillahi ta'ala after Maghrib, polishing our practice of polygyny. We encourage everyone to stick around for that, whether you're married, whether you're not married, whether you're in polygyny or you're not. Tune in or attend that talk. We want to encourage everyone with this time that we have, this break and time that we have. Tawheed First Academy has a table outside. We encourage everyone to go to that table and see what they have to offer. Inshallah ta'ala, it's our school. Tawheed First is our school here at the masjid. So we encourage everyone to go out and see what they have at the table. Inshallah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Pardon me, brothers. I meant to say Sheikh Jamil Finch. Sheikh Jamil Finch after Maghrib. Sheikh Jamil Finch after Maghrib. Barakallahu feek.